Hey, good day, YouTube. Got good news, got bad news, got no news. Um, don't exactly remember where I left off on the last blog, but I think it was talking about my gastro and the change in medication. So, the gastro's MA called me the other day and asked me how the change in medication was working. And so I told her, the ascites went away. It resolved itself for now. Today's actually day 22 of no peritonitis. And so the gastro called me back and just to double check and talk to her for a little bit. Gonna keep the medication levels where they're at and keep the changes. And see how it goes from there. Some bad news. I feel like crap. A lot of pain, a lot of joint pain, skeletal muscle pain. I think that's probably what's killing me the worst right now. And finger joints, my shoulders, my knees, my thighs. Not very fun. And just kind of where we're at right now. Didn't have, like I said, didn't have another peritonitis. Didn't get my phlebotomy. My hematocrit level was too low. But my ferritin level still went down some. So I'm down to 160 now on there. Remember, I started out at 1988. And we're still working on getting it down to 30. That's where they want to keep me. And we'll see what goes on with my hematocrits this Monday. Might be able to get some stuff changed so I can get some stuff done here locally, like the phlebotomy. There's really no reason that I can see to have that done in the infusion center. I have no reason to go to the infusion center if I'm not getting the peritonitis because I'm not getting infused. So, see if we can make that happen up here. The doctor's office is right here, so I could get to everywhere within 5 minutes here in town that I need to get to. Lab, my hematologist, and I think the turtle's making a bunch of noise. And then the new primary care I'll be seeing here next week on the 19th. And the hematologist, I'll see him again on the 28th. And see where we're going there. Can't really do a lot about the pain. Some people have great results from the phlebotomies fast. Other people, can take up to a year for the pain, to subside. I don't know if I have a year. We'll see. But some more bad news is my end of life number went up 1 point. That was disheartening to see. And I wasn't expecting it to go up so fast, but it went up 1 point. And just have to check it in a couple months. I could check at home. It's no biggie. They make an app for it on my phone. It's pretty simple to test that. Same test that hematologists, gastrologists use as well. But it did go up 1 point. And That's not good. And it's kind of weird because the numbers that you use to test it, they just barely moved. Just barely. I'm talking 1/100ths of 1 point. And one went down, actually, so that must be bad. I haven't had time to research yet, really. But it went down like 2/100ths of a point, But some of the other numbers stayed the same, But I'll look into it more. Home life, that's kind of a crappy week. And, the wife, she's tired of not being able to do anything, And I get it, I'm an introvert, so it doesn't really bother me to begin with. I could care less, I'm just as happy sitting at home as So she wanted to do something, over the weekend, and I just hurt too bad. I gotta pause this for a minute. So anyways, the wife, she was disappointed. I just physically didn't have it in me to go anywhere. And so she was a bit grumpy, and I got a bit grumpy too, I guess. And, with my end of life score going up, and so we were both kind of grumpy, and sat around, watched some more Shameless. I think we're almost done, and didn't do anything, and so that's pretty much the way the week went. Just generally crappy, and my head's been all funny feeling, dizzy and lightheaded and something else. I don't know how to explain it, but some kind of like euphoria of sorts. I don't know. But see how next week goes. Wife's got the weekend off again, but she's going to try to get down to see her best friend's husband. I think they kicked him out of the hospital and gave him 3 months. And so they're going to travel back up to their house up here and stay for a week, I think. So I think she's going to try to get down there Saturday or Sunday, see him, see how he's doing, and that's about all we know about him. And I think they did a PET test on him yesterday. Maybe she'll hear something back from her friend today, but not a whole lot going on. Just a little more research and reading, expectations and, life expectancy. And I still got some paperwork I need to fill out, for when I do die. But maybe I'll try to get to that this weekend. But I was going to say something else too. Maybe it'll come back to me. But I just had something else there. I forgot now. But what the heck was it? Never mind. And anyways, the ascites, I could have the lady check up here on Tuesday, and can have her throw the sonogram on me, the transducer, whatever you want to call them. and she can peek around, but there's nothing to peek at really, and you know, that way I don't waste time and waste a bed. And I think I talked about it. I know I did. I talked about it, you know, how, you know, it made me feel pretty bad, you know, wasting a bed. And I couldn't do anything about it, and trying to avoid that. So scheduling my appointments on Wednesday. We're scheduled out next week as well. That way I can call on Monday morning. I'll know by Monday morning if something changes and happens. And that gives them plenty of time, you know, a couple of days to get something worked in. Usually it just takes them half a day, you know. They've called and got me in different hours before too. And so that hopefully that'll work out there. The paperwork, like I said, to cover my death, and I'm a kind of a simple person, and there's nothing really for anybody. You know, I'm really simple, and it doesn't take me much, you know, to be happy in life. It never has. Material possessions, forget it, you know. I ain't got those, you know. I just don't. And it is what it is. Oh, the other hospital, I heard back from them, and they wrote their hospital portion of the bill off too. So all three hospitals have wrote the hospital part of the bills off 100%. Just have to pay the doctor's bills. Yeah, and that's really helping a lot. And like I said, mine were up around 20 grand. I think actually it was 28,000. Is what I believe the correct number is for the hospital part. And you know, between the three hospitals, they just wiped that out, and that's pretty nice. Other than that, really ain't got much to say. Maybe check in Sunday or something. I really don't foresee a peritonitis next week either. And, you know, the gastro's happy. I'm sort of happy. And at least that's gone. And saving us a couple trips. That was getting so old. The 2 trips a week to the hospital, just really getting monotonous. And I know there's a couple of times we had to make like 3 trips down for the week, and so hopefully, like I said, I can get that done up here. The phlebotomy, you know, you can get that done anywhere, you know, a football field. I mean, really, you know. All they're going to do is stick and bleed you out like a pig, you know. But I can't see any reason for it having to be done down there in the infusion. And I believe the reason we were doing that is because I was getting 3 procedures in a row down there, just bam, 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 all the same day. And so it just made it easy for us to schedule to go to the peritonitis, and then do the phlebotomy, and then do the infusion, you know, all 3, and then get the hell out of there and call it a day. And I think that's the reason we did that. And I think we're going to call the doctor next week before we see him and ask their nurse or whoever about changing that. But we'll keep it the same for this upcoming week, and plan on just going down there if my numbers are right. And then if we can get it changed, that'd be great. You know, that's hour drive time round trip, and cut that off of there, and dealing with the people at the hospital. You know, that alleviate a lot of aggravation. And it's really starting to get to the wife, and about their incompetencies down there. And this last one was the blood test that she just pretty much blew a cork, They didn't test the right crap. And, and we pointed it out to him and told him exactly, We show him on my phone and thought everything was fine. And I know something changes between check-in and 30 feet that you have to walk over to the laboratory. Something happens in between there, a twilight zone type thing you go through, and everything gets changed by the time you get there, And I forgot to ask the lady that took the blood, because I usually ask them, exactly what are you going to take now? And usually they're wrong, and I have to correct them. No, it's not what we're doing. And I forgot this time, and so, the wife was all grumpy at me for not asking, It's like I forgot once in 5.5 months, But hopefully I can just get that done up here, And I could get that done at my new doctor I'll be seeing next week. I could get that done right in his office, and he's part of the network, and so it's easy peasy. It goes in the computer system and get the test back real fast. And my little brother's still dealing with it. He had some issues too, kind of like what I had there at first. But he got in, I guess it was a hematologist he got into the other day, and had a good chat with him, and they looked at his numbers, his ferritin level, and his saturation percent, and it told him, you pretty much, you have it too, but we're going to do the gene test. And I'm just going to keep putting this out here until everybody in my family understands. This gene test, they cannot spin up in your doctor's office. They cannot do it. It has to go off to a specialty lab. And it takes 10 days just to process the blood. They have to pull out DNA and Google it, So I'm just going to keep putting that out there. You can't get it done in one day. It's just not possible. And so, maybe check into that, because I'd hate to see you, just relying on a regular blood test thinking you're good to go. And that's just not the way it works. Not on a gene test. And you're definitely not getting the results back in less than 10 days. And that's 10 days of the lab playing with the blood. So I'll keep putting it out there. I know some will get it, some won't. Some might not even take the test at all. Some don't care. But it'll kill you. Don't ever doubt that. But one thing I do know, working with the blood doctors, I'm pretty confident in how this works and the testing and how a gene test works. And there's no one getting a gene test for anything in a day. No gene test whatsoever. And make sure you ask for it specifically. You have to specifically ask for a gene test. If you just show them my test results, they're just going to spin up a regular blood test, and they're not going to find anything in there because they can't spin out the genes. Doctors' offices don't have them. And for my family members that still do live in Oregon, there is not a lab in the state of Oregon that will do a gene test, that can do a gene test. So if you live in Oregon, your blood work for your gene test is either going to go to Utah or it's going to go up to Washington. And if you're down in like Nevada, your gene test is going to get kicked over to Sacramento, I believe. But for the state of Oregon, there's no specialty lab to pull a gene test. And if you doubt me, just research it. And so that should tell you a lot about how the gene test works. I'll keep putting it out there, you know. And like I said, I'm working, you know, with gene counselor, you know, hepatologist, hematologist, and a gastrologist, transplant team. And I'm going to take their words over any small town doctor's word that they spun that gene test up in one day. And they'll never convince me. And they won't convince these doctors. There's 25 just on the transplant team that all agree. that all agree on this, you know. And the research is there at your fingertips. Google's a wonderful tool, and you can just Google exactly how they do a gene test and how long it takes, and yada yada. So make sure they're not just spinning up a ferritin test on you, because that ferritin number won't tell you one way or the other. It can be high, it can be low, and you know, and not tell you if you have a problem with a gene. You know, that's pulling DNA, and think about it, you know. Some of these DNA tests just for simple murder trials take 1 to 2 months, you know. So keep that in the back of your mind. Maybe talk to doctors again, get second opinion. I've shared my results. If your results don't look like those pieces of paper that are on my results, you did not get a gene test. And reread what the first page of mine says, and it'll tell you a lot. But I'll just leave that at there, you know. Leave that there, and hopefully, you know, we can get it traced down and get it weeded out of the family. That would be good, you know. So we still don't have accurate count, number of how many have it and how many don't, because some are getting the wrong test and some aren't getting the wrong test. But my brother got his sent off. Of course, they told him the same thing as all the 40 doctors that I have. 10 days on the test results, minimum. And they'll know for sure, but they could tell, had a pretty good inkling just by his ferritin level and his iron saturation levels that basically you do have it. And we'll prove it with the gene test. And so I don't remember what exactly happened. His went to the wrong lab at first. It just went to a regular lab, and they didn't know what to do. And like I said, it has to be a specialty lab, like Quest Diagnostic, and that's where mine went to. And I can't remember the name of the lab up in Washington, which is the other one the state of Oregon uses. And I believe that's the only two the state of Oregon uses, since we don't have a gene lab in the state. But he'll know, I guess, here, you know, 8 days, so 7 or 8 days. He took the test the other day, so. But they were pretty positive, and like I said, they're just going to double check. They got to pull the gene test, and pull the DNA out and play with the DNA. And they have to do that a couple different times. And he'll have some better results. And once he gets his, then he can make sure that his kids are getting the correct test, because it's just not normal. It's not normal for doctors even to test this. It's you know, you have to ask for it, and it has to be sent off. It can't be done, you know, locally. And so then he'll know, and you know, his kids can, you know, get tested proper, the right way, and see where they're at, and you know, trace his family unit down to see, you know, might be a time where, you know, to cut the cycle, you just, you know, there's going to have to be some that just can't have babies, and that'll be the only way to cut the cycle off for future generations of the Bay family, to get it to stop. You know, that's the only way. There's no cure, so that's exactly what will have to happen. But anyways, I'm going to jump off here. Hope for a better weekend. Sure, the wife won't have a very good weekend if she gets down there to see her friend. You know, I'll say something more about him. So they gave him 3 months to live and kicked him out of the hospital and told him, go home and get your affairs in order, you know, it's time. But it's kind of weird. And I talked about this about like my primary care physician. They're nothing but they're insurance collectors. Is how I see them now. You know, you're just collecting insurance money and wanting to pull tests that you don't need. And so they set him home, and they want to set him up with an eye test and a hearing test. And then they said, we want you to see an oncologist too. Well, who in the hell gave him 3 months to live if it wasn't an oncologist to start with? You know, why hearing tests if he's got such a short amount of life left? You know, why an eye exam? You know, why? You know, my wife's going to try to talk to her friend. You know, there's really no reason to put this man through, you know, drag him around for these tests. It's like, you know, what's the purpose? You know, really, what is the purpose? You know, an eye exam, 3 months, you know, they say 3 months, it's probably only a month and a half, you know. They usually go on the high side and give you hope, you know. When we talked about it, after she told me that, I was floored. I'm like, the hell are you on about, you know? A hearing test, you know? It's like, in an eye test, eye exam, you know? I don't get that. And so, you know, we talked about it, and I thought about it. It's like, it can only be for one purpose, and that's just to try to give the family hope, you know? You got these, you know, you got this to look forward to, you know? You got a hearing test coming up, you know, in 2 months or whatever, you know, to try to give them hope. And man, I hope I don't have doctors that do that. And he doesn't really know and what to do, and you know, and I know my wife, this is what she would tell them right here. You know, seriously, really, you know, you already put him on his deathbed. And you want to test them for what, you know? And that's kind of what they were wanting to test me for here at the beginning of the month when I did my med check. They were like, well, you're going to have to go see a rheumatologist. I'm like, the hell for? You know? A rheumatologist, he can't cure hemochromatosis. So the only thing he can really do is give me a pill. Pain pills. I already got them. You know? And other than that, he'll give me a big fat bill for, first time, patient thing. I've gotten a few of those, and, those can be $600 to $800 to go see the doctor for the first time, just for them to check you out and kind of get a feel of what's going on, So it's just a bill. There's no reason. A rheumatologist, I'm just like, dumbfounded. It's just like, no, I won't be doing that, just not going to be doing that, I just got these hospital bills paid off. Now I can really pay on the doctor bills, little easier, smaller payments on them. The hospital puts you on these easy payments of $550 a month for the easy pay. And you got 3 hospitals telling you this. There ain't nothing easy about it, let me tell you that. Really, there's not. And, the doctor bills aren't that much, to tell you the truth. Some of them are spendier than others. Some are shockingly cheap, I'm like, it's just like, dang, I'll tell my wife, look at this doctor bill, look how cheap it was, like upper GI check they did here last time was, doctor only charged me a couple $100, and I thought that was hella reasonable, Yeah, the hospital bill was like $1,500, So, some of it's cheap and some of it's not, but, I just can't fathom this hearing test and the eye exam. For some reason they think he needs glasses. I don't know. He just retired 30 years out of the service. You have to go through medical to get out. I know. I know how you get out of the service. You don't just walk out, and you're examined on the way out just like you are on the way in. But I don't know what the reason is. Give him hope, false hope, It was kind of weird because he was over here about 3 months ago before he got sick. He just got sick instantly, and it was over. And he's telling us about his brother, and he's got some kind of this big cancerous lesion in his belly. It goes all the way through and drains into this big giant rubber, and it's pretty nasty, I guess. They give him whatever, put him on his deathbed too, and then they started ordering all these tests, and Ronnie asked him, it's like, why are we testing him for all this stuff if he's dying? And their answer was, well, he's got really good insurance, why worry about it? Let's just test him. It's like, really? And that just came out of the blue, before it dawned on me, well, you're just insurance collectors, and then got to thinking back about it, and I was telling the wife, I'm like, remember when they were over here telling us about his brother? And it's like, this is what they did to me, it's kind of, with the rheumatologist and whatnot, and she's like, she told her friend, she's like, he should tell him just to go F himself, and told him that they just tried that with me, and I just told him, nah, ain't happening, you're not getting doctor names, I'm not going to go see a rheumatologist, that's not why I'm here, it's just, why? Is he giving you a cut of, of the insurance money? What's going on, And you want me to change my doctor to come over here, and I don't know, man. For a guy that served 30 years and retired out of the Army, I expect a little better treatment from the VA, but I guess they don't lie when they say, your VA treatment just sucks. And that's sad. I think he did 3 tours in Iraq, I believe he did. You know, it's just now you want to test his hearing. Anyways, I'm going to get off here. I'm way over my 30 minutes. I had a lot of ums and I sniff a lot too. That's part of being sick. I'm not doing cocaine for you that wonder. You know, it's just part of being sick with what I have, and makes me sniff a lot. Messes with my sinuses, and so yeah, I'm not doing cocaine. If you guys got any doubt, I'll show you my drug test I have to take. You know, I test negative for everything except for opioids, and of course those are prescribed. But anyways, we'll see how it goes. I don't expect anything next week. Hopefully, a phlebotomy at least, and that will be the only thing I have to do next week. No ascites, so you know, just keep going week to week, and you know, try to feel better, not so dizzy all the time, and you know, work on my eating, and try to get some strength up, more strength up, try to gain some more weight. And till then, you guys be safe, be healthy out there, and enjoy the weekend coming up. Peace.